with some, get this going, we can look at the flowies. Flowies, flowies.
I'm centered. Holy flowers.
So many.
So many of the flowers. Okay, there we go. All right, hey guys. There we go. Looks like we're kind of functioning. Try to get centered here. All right, very good. How's everybody doing? If you guys could please let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. This can't stay. That fly. All right, that would be super helpful. Once I know. Good? All right, thanks so much. Welcome, Raydell, Andrea, Angelica. Good to see everybody. So this is my weekly Ask Ivy show. I'll be taking your personal questions. So you can post anything psychic, spiritual you want to know about your life.
I almost just lost mine.
Okay. And if there's a deceased loved one you were hoping to hear from, can you try to get that fly?
Yeah.
If you have a deceased loved one you were hoping to hear from, or a pet, I can also take the name of that person. While we wait for a few people to tune in and we let Paul swat some of these flies, I've had the doors open all day. I do want to invite you guys to check out a couple different things going on this week. Intuitive Numerology, an 8-week course with Danny Johnson, our numerologist here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. We are going on to class number 2, starts tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, if you want to jump in, it's not too late. If you can't make it to the classes live, you can also get the video downloads. So check that out as well. The link to the website is up in my bio. It's on the ring light.
Yep.
Okay. Also, we have our monthly walk-in night virtual psychic fair, meaning from the comfort of your own home, showcasing students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy. Walk-in night this month is going to be Saturday the 26th. So it's back on the ring light. So that is this upcoming Saturday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern for our new summer hours. Now, this is $15. For $15, you get 2 readings, 2 healings, a reading and a healing. You can mix or match. It's an amazing deal, and it does sell out every month, so you want to get your tickets ahead of time. So go on to the website, again, in my bio for that. A lot of you guys have been asking, why are my intuitive abilities increasing? Why is my empathic ability increasing? Why am I struggling so much? With feeling all of this energy or downloads or feeling overwhelmed. And I did a class on this a few months ago called Empaths and the Pandemic. How our intuition, our intuitive intelligence increased because of the pandemic, because of the awakening. So I'm going to put out a short story on that, a modified version. That's going to go up on the 28th. Which is Tuesday.
Tuesday 29th.
Oh, sorry.
That's my fault.
Tuesday the 29th at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Now, that's going to be a live interactive chat as well. Okay, so check it out. Empaths in the Pandemic. And if you guys don't want to wait for the short story on it, you can just go in the playlist here and hit to see the full-length class. We also have a class coming up, part of the quarantine series. I've been putting out 1 to 2 free mini classes per week since the pandemic hit. The one coming up is called Finding the One. That's going to be on Tuesday the 29th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. If you guys are looking for love, if you are avoiding love, if you want to make sure that you end up with that right person, the one individual, we are going to be talking about the truths behind that, the myths behind that, and what you could do in the meantime to get yourself ready and manifest that person coming in toward you. So check it out. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that one. I love talking about this stuff. All right. So again, if you guys have not already posted your questions, feel free to start putting them in the comment feed. Donations are appreciated. Susanna, thank you so much for your donation here. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button, feel free to do so. Love having you. And if you want to join to become a member, hit the join button and you can see the 3 different tiers to get behind the scenes extras, direct spirit messages, your monthly horoscope, all kinds of things. And we are renovating the Victorian funeral home that we bought. We have the open house coming up. When is that?
That is
July 17th, 7/17/21. I feel lucky about that. So we're going to be doing a live show touring from the bottom of the funeral home in the basement and all the basement-y things that go with it, all the way up through the attic before I officially move in, so you guys can see. And if you happen to be in upstate New York, it's 2 blocks away from the beach in Dunkirk, New York. You guys are welcome to join us. That's going to be 4 to 6 p.m. on that date, so check it out. But we will be, for members, having a lot of behind-the-scenes extras posting, too. All right, looks like we have a couple questions coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. If I can get everybody to give this video a thumbs up right now. Thank you very much. All right, let's get started. Who's first?
We have one from Hunter.
Hunter?
It says, what are some ways that we can stand in our own power? And what does that mean exactly?
Well, I'm assuming if you're asking me, you know what it means. But I guess I'll just make up my own story. What do I think it means to stand in your power? I personally believe that the only way to do that is to live and abide within your life contract. That means that you came to Earth with a contract, a game plan, a path, and when you stray off of it, everything goes downhill. Even if your money looks good, you're not feeling fulfilled, your relationships are out of whack, and you in general have a restless sense in your spirit of something missing, something being wrong, you're irritable, all kinds of things can happen. So I believe that when you are abiding by that life contract, it matches your numerology chart, it matches your Vedic and Western astrology, and it matches what Spirit shows me in a life contract reading. So if you want to know what yours is, you can book a life contract reading with me. I believe that the different things that people can do to be in alignment with their life contract is to really listen to where your passions lie, to not get caught up in societal standards and chasing that almighty buck, but instead to pay attention to where your talents and your natural gifts are, and to also listen to the signs that the universe gives you to do certain work and to work with certain people and to look back even. One of the tricks that you can do is to look back to when you were a child and to think on what it was that you were naturally drawn to doing and then bring that back. So there are a million things that you could do. But if it's not within alignment with that contract, the universe doesn't really support it, and you're kind of on your own. You're just free falling in life. Okay. Great question.
It is. Once we figured it out.
Once I came up with a story for it.
This one is from David. What's the status between me and my daughter mother, Sarah? Do we have a chance to get back together?
You know, so David wants to know about Sarah. Okay, I think that you guys work well together in some areas. I think that there needed to be some time apart for each of you to do some growing and to figure out what you really wanted. I think that that mostly had to happen with you where you developed spiritually. Not to say that ever ends, of course, but you did have a growth spurt spiritually. And I think that it helped you to open your third eye. I think it helped you to open your crown. And so you're taking direction better from the universe. You're faster on what the universe is laying down. You understand more about your purpose. So you have more to offer in all relationships, in anything you set your mind to doing. Anywhere you show up, you'll be a blessing and a force. But I don't necessarily know that she's done some of the work she needs to do. And so it seems a little off base. If we try to put it back together, like within the next year or so, it may fail anyhow because she's not dealing with some of the trust issues. She has some growth to do on more, I almost want to say like logistical things or just sort of personal stuff, maybe not feeling very independent, feeling as though she's easily influenced, whether it be by parents or authority, not being able to think for herself, and having some escapist and avoidant problems. So she may prefer to detach and avoid self-work that she has to do instead of really facing it head on, and that can really affect a relationship negatively. So I think we're going in the right direction, and I think maybe down the road it could be a possibility, but probably not before 3 years. And I think by then we also may have another person entering in from her angle, that she may get tied up with. So this is a bit tricky.
All right, this is from Rachel.
Okay.
Said, I have an appointment with you in August. I'm getting laid off soon. Do you see anything about my career?
Well, I look forward to working with you in August. You're getting laid off. Do I see anything about the career? Just in general?
Yep.
Well, let's see what's happening with that position. That doesn't really feel that long to me. It feels almost like it happens, and then it seems like you're being called back, like temporarily or part-time or something like that. And then it seems like it's still not full, or it's not available still. And then, at maybe 8 months out, you may get called back again full. And so I don't think that this is a permanent situation. One of the things that I do see you doing in the meantime, or I would highly recommend that you do, is to really get your hands dirty with some creativity and some projects that you've been wanting to do. So whether this be like a side hustle, launching your own business, getting involved in helping others, activism, projects. And it feels very community oriented, community based. And so you may be using this time for not only self-discovery, but also to explore what else there is for you out there, and you may end up really preferring that to going back. That would not surprise me.
Hey, this is from Jessica.
Jessica?
Yeah.
Okay.
After a betrayal, my intuition kicked in. I don't know how. Will I have to keep going through pain and loss for my spiritual gifts to improve?
Everybody does. Yeah, pretty much. So the more of a beating you take, the more intuitive you are. The strongest, most intuitive spiritual people in the world have had the snot kicked out of them from birth. So yeah, that's how it goes. And why does it go that way? Because otherwise people won't listen. If everything is rainbows and butterflies, you don't need spirit as well. If everything's perfect and you're not made to be uncomfortable or panicking, you don't need your ancestors. You don't need law of attraction. You don't need God. You don't need faith. You don't need anything. And so the world is a battleground. The earth is a classroom, and it's designed to put you through the fire so that you come out polished and stronger, and then ultimately able to help others. But they may not listen, because they too often have to go through that fire. And so we're supposed to use every opportunity to grow. And pain, discomfort, and suffering are the best ways to not only grow, but also become more intuitive and understand the lost language. So it's not really going to stop. What does happen is that you get a tougher skin. So you can become really intuitive through a major increase, like a kundalini. It's almost like a download. You can have a major increase after something traumatic, but after that, you don't really have to go through that kind of trauma again and again. You're smarter, you're kind of numb. There will be other lessons, but not the same thing. It's always changing. We do have a class coming up called Intuitive Increases. Why does it happen? And that's one of the free mini classes, I think, is maybe in July. So stay tuned. If you want to know now why you have intuitive increases and how it affects you empathically, psychically, and mediumistically, check out my class called Empathic Awareness. I break all of this down up on the website. Paul will put that in the comments for you. Great question.
It is. Okay, we have one here from Paula.
Uh-huh.
Said, I lost my beloved cat Smokey 3 months ago. Is he still with me in spirit?
So Paula lost Smokey. Okay. I definitely feel like he's with you in spirit. I do feel like he waddles. I feel like he comes through, and he comes through rather quickly. You may also notice this in your dreams that he passes through. He doesn't stay for long periods to maybe like be pet or keep you company. And that's a sign that that was a real visit. So when a visit is short, or if it's a person or even your cat, their mouths don't move when they communicate. Okay. So you communicate with them telepathically, and it's usually like they cross on, or it's a very, very brief interaction, but you feel usually rejuvenated and amazed by it, but wanting more. That's normal. He is definitely around. I do feel him crossing through the kitchen, down a hallway, and into your bedroom sometimes. I feel like I'm going over into a room to the right as well of this hallway, and I think that he peeks in at you and checks up on you. And I don't know if you've been walking more or like exercising or something, but I do feel too like he sits on your feet and your ankles, and he's very protective of that area and is encouraging of that kind of activity. Good. Yeah, he loves you very much, and it really was his time. He knows that. It was his time.
Okay. We have one from Shauna.
Shauna?
Says, I need to move. Others are pushing me to do so and divorcing. I need a little help. I'm not trusting myself on this one. Do I move now or when and where?
Did she say divorcing?
Mm-hmm.
So divorcing, when do I move? Where do I move? How do I move? I have 3 minutes or less to answer your question. You may want to book a reading. So let's see what your guides have to say about this. I feel like now, I feel like yesterday, like it probably should have been done already. So now, and whatever's easiest. It's very possible that you may be able to sort of stay local, not be too far from where you are, and get an apartment or like rent a house. It feels modest, almost like a ranch or like a lower level. If we were talking about a duplex, I see white walls, which indicates to me two things, right? New beginnings, which is lovely and true, but also, a rental unit, something that isn't maybe a huge investment on your behalf. It's quick, it's easy, it's clean. And I think that you could find yourself getting in and getting out of this place in between 2 and 3 years, where you may have something that you want more, okay, that is more yours, and that you feel more in ownership of. So I think it's about what's quick and easy and nearby. I also think that wouldn't cause a lot of friction. So you may not be able to go too far, or that may be ill-advised if people are telling you like go far. I would not push my luck on that right now while we're dealing with the divorce and custody.
Okay. This one is from John.
John?
Yeah. When will I get to meet my soulmates or twin flame, and how should I go about doing that?
That almost sounds like a staged question for my... That's spirit right there. I love this question, John.
While you would announce
amazing.
Perfect.
Well, so there's no such thing as twin flames. That's a myth. People make a lot of cash making you believe that. There's no proof of it whatsoever. But you could check out a class here where I do talk about twin flames versus soulmates, which are true. And I also talk about karmic contracts. That's a free mini class up here on YouTube. So go to the playlist. I would start by watching that. I would also tune in this upcoming week. Our free mini class is called Reaching the One, or it's called Finding the One. What you can do to prepare for that one person who would be right for you. And Paul, if you could put that in the comments, that would help so he could tune in.
Sure.
But also for you guys, subscribe and hit the bell when I go live or the classes start. That bell will alert you on your phone. So I think that what we need to remember, and this is such a great question, what we need to be honest about is that there isn't a twin flame, because we're not half of an individual. We're not missing half of us. That's ridiculous. It's also a toxic system that's been created, right? It's about understanding that we have approximately 5 to 6 different soulmate options that will cross our path in life. This shows up in your numerology, shows up in your astrology, shows up in your life contract. You get a handful of these. Now, they're not all romantic partners, but some of them will be romantic partners. And what I would highly recommend, and what we're going to talk about in that class, is picking one of those soulmates that can function in the day-to-day. It's not just about the passion. It's not just about the romance. It's about whether or not you can work together day-to-day without struggling. Because when the struggle comes into the day-to-day, it's a dead deal. It's not ever going to work. So you want that, and you want something called North Node connection. So with the soulmate connection, you're going to see South Node connection, meaning you've past life history, and you're going to see North Node connection if we're looking at astrology. North Node means that you've worked to do together in this life, and you've worked to do together possibly even in future lives. And that's really important too.
Cool. I want to take a sec to thank everybody who donated. Susanna, Shauna, Jessica, David. Thank you so much. Anyone else who's interested, the button is right at the bottom next to the emojis. So if you make a mistake, click that one instead. That's very cool too.
Thank you for the donations, guys.
All right. Here we go. We have one from David, who says, I'm going through a huge shift now since starting the Ivy League Psychic Academy course, cutting off from literally everyone in my life, friends and family. Is there any specific thing I should focus on for healing / leveling up?
So this is my student, David, feeling that he's isolating and cutting off from a lot of people after he joined the psychic mediumship course. That's pretty common effect when, sometimes people start showing their true colors and aren't super supportive of you on your spiritual journey, and they can be a toxic influence. So good for you, David. What can you do to level up? Is he just asking like in life in general? What can I do to level up?
To focus on for healing or leveling up.
To focus on for healing. Okay. What I think helps a lot is to understand that while this journey can be isolating, it's sort of like a detox process. It's sort of like a cleansing. And if you can just focus on the truth, which is that everyone who gets removed gets replaced with other people. Let's face it, better people. People who are more connected to you, which makes it better. Better for you, better for them. When people who don't belong in your circle anymore are removed, you get members of your actual soul tribe come in. It's the same thing with opportunities. If you let go of a situation or something that was once something beneficial to you, you will then have new doors open. And I think it's important to focus on the honor of this work so that you can wrap your head around the truth, the fact at all times that there are no losses. There is no such thing as long as you stay the course. And so look to the future, to what prosperity and benefits are coming in. Look around you, keep your eyes and ears open at all time to what and who is there to help you to, fill up energetically from those losses, and how the universe rewards you for being willing to let go. Most people fail in life. Most people never accomplish what is within their life contract because they are fear-based. They are ego-based. They control and hold on. So their relationships don't grow. They don't grow. And you should feel very, very confident that you are doing amazing things by releasing. And the universe instantly starts to reward that. First off with a sense of inner peace, and then with all kinds of other random smaller points of prosperity. Just like, red lights turn green constantly. You may have some new work opportunities. Maybe you meet some great people here or through the academy. You start networking better. Watch for those things. That's the best thing you could do for your healing journey, is to focus on the honor of it and how well you're actually doing. And quite frankly, when you look at the masses and you see that they aren't making the same choices as you start to feel isolated. You're probably on the right path. Okay, feel good about that.
Okay, we have one from Rebecca.
Rebecca?
Should Irene and I join the army?
Should Irene and I join the army? I don't think so. It's more you. That doesn't look right. But you guys have free will. I think that if you were to go in it, she may do fairly well. She seems to not be bothered by things. She seems to, it's like water off a duck's back, and she just do. She just goes through things in a very sort of detached, sometimes it seems almost like emotionless, kind of way. And I think that she's very type A and organized. And so I think that this type of thing may work well for her. You, on the other hand, I feel some fluctuations going on. And I think that it could be a difficult, they're mentioning 3 years. So it's possible you might get in it and then find yourself, in there for about 3 years or so. It looks to me like there could be some combatant people. And I think that you may feel a lot of emotional and mental roller coasters within you that don't necessarily get appeased. So it's like a battle from beginning to end. It's not like, well, I eventually adjusted and this became an amazing experience. I'm so glad I came. It doesn't really seem to ever get there. But book a reading at any time. I could take a closer look at what potential outcomes there could be. I'm not really feeling it for you.
All right, this one's from Sean.
Sean?
I was wondering if you can give me some insight on this guy I like. I was wondering if I should pursue him, and his name is Mitchell.
Okay, so Sean and Mitchell. What do we see? He seems really creative in what he does. And I see him getting very involved in projects, and he seems a bit introspective. So there's definitely some depth there. There's definitely an ability to channel also, and his third eye seems open. So I think he's very intuitive, even if he doesn't always realize that. I also feel him being a little emotional or unstable because of that sometimes. So I do think he's on level 3-4 empathic ability, and he may have empathic overload on a regular basis. So, sometimes level 3-4 empaths that aren't tuning out other people's energy can have a lot of meltdowns, and they can seem unstable. Doesn't mean they are, that he has a bigger problem. It's probably just that, and he's not educated. But I think that what I like about this relationship is that he reminds me of like a turtle. He may kind of come out of his shell a bit if you approach. And I feel that you have this playful, trusting energy about you. You have this very sweet nature. Like, you're not hustling anyone. You don't care. You don't need anybody for anything. So you're not going to try to take advantage of him for any reason. You're an open book, which sees what you get. And I think that could jive actually pretty nicely. I think if this doesn't turn into a relationship, it could at least turn into a very nice friendship with some extras, maybe. Yeah.
It's from Patrick.
Patrick?
I recently had a near-death experience in the hospital. It was scary and bad. Any idea if this is what's to come for me?
If what is what's to come?
Maybe what he saw,
scary and bad?
Yeah.
What you saw? Do I think that's what's to come for you? No, I don't see anything scary and bad and terrible happening for you. I think that you have free will, just like everybody else has free will. And if there are things in your life that you want to avoid those paths. Don't be avoidant. Don't be detached. Don't try to escape. your feelings. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Do the self-work. Achieve what you have to. Bring your A game to life. Give it your all. And I think you're going to have an amazing outcome. I think that some of the things that you saw were legitimate in that, you may need to make some changes. I think other things that you saw were a trigger, almost like a physical reaction to what you were going through. Okay, so it's like a fear-based, almost like the ego took over. And it was some like worst case scenarios. So no, I don't think that you should take it at face value. Glad you're here. Okay.
This is from Denise.
Denise?
What class teaches you to block your thoughts or contain your thoughts? I am an open book. I have no privacy.
You have no privacy, meaning you have no boundaries. So, I teach a little bit on this, but sometimes when people have like no boundaries, it requires like more therapy, or maybe some self-help books that can really help you dive into why that is, because that's sort of a bigger problem in itself. Usually when I talk to people about setting boundaries and staying in your lane and pulling in your energy and keeping it clean and keeping it high and controlling your mind, it's from a spiritual aspect. But here I also embrace trauma, because I believe that most people that are intuitive have been traumatized. And what I'm feeling from you is that your trauma may have begun young. And so you're going to probably have to go back to childhood, and you're going to have to start looking at different points where your space was invaded and you learned those behaviors, of giving up your boundaries. A lot of people struggle to control the mind because we've gotten into bad habits of worrying or overthinking, but it almost becomes like an OCD-like tendency, cyclical patterns, out of control. And we have to learn our triggers. One of the classes that I have here in the playlist is called Emotion versus Intuition. That might help you a bit. Another one is the empathic awareness training that covers this from top to bottom all the way through. So check that out on the website. Another thing you may want to check out here is called Stay in Your Lane. This will help you to tune out other people's stuff, to stay where you need to and control your mind and emotions so that you're not like a ping pong game. Yeah. Okay.
It's from Anita.
Anita?
My husband's younger brother Michael recently passed. Does he have any messages for us?
When I go over here with Michael, he's holding some roses. And so I'm going to kind of break this message down one at a time. He has some white roses, 3 in particular. So there are 3 of you that need this. This white rose is a symbol for healing, meaning someone is not doing well with his passing. And of course, we're not expected to do well, but someone is really reeling over the fact that they didn't get a proper goodbye, specifically. And so these are symbolic of this being part of that not a goodbye, but a recognition that he's still here and their communication should continue. Okay. I also saw 2 red roses. Red roses need to go out to 2 of you. And that is a birthday or an anniversary right around this time. And then I saw a pink rose. And I feel like one of you is going through some major change. This could be having a baby. This could be launching a business. This could be a brand new beginning, and he's celebrating that with you. And so he's really very in tune to all of you. I feel like he's watching over 5 or 6 of you in particular. And he just wants you to know. Did she say this is her husband's brother?
Yes.
There's some talk of your husband and him being a really hard worker, but not allowing himself to reveal his feelings, being a tough guy, but not allowing himself to cry, or going off and doing it alone. And he says he's never alone, but he should be doing it more with you. He should be doing it more openly when he needs to. And that he kind of tries to stave it off until he can get some time alone. And it's almost like it's building in him. And he said, don't do that. Don't do that. If you need to let it out and you're in the middle of work, go to the bathroom, go somewhere, or just do it. Let it out. Let it out. Don't hold it, shove it down until later. And he's communicating with him quite a lot. He loves him very much, and is in the house and is visiting in dreams. And your husband may have some of his things. I see collectibles. I see a picture of him as well. And you may be keeping that in the room. The bedroom. Okay? Yes.
Okay, this is from Daniel.
Daniel?
I was wondering if things will be okay in the next few months or years with me and my family.
Will be okay? All right, well, that's a lot of people. So I would have to look at each individual relationship. In general, I think what you're asking about is everyone like staying together and doing well. Like, will everybody kind of be, connected? I think that we are going to see some turnaround on circumstance. So if there's anyone dealing with mental health issues, if there's anyone dealing with health issues, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, I do see some positivity, really coming out of that, us being able to also come together kind of like as a team and overcome that. I do feel two people getting happier and losing some combative attitudes. So that's good as well. There may be some immaturity there that needs to be cleared out of a couple people's systems. And I feel that what you're really doing is coming like the light, like the matriarch, the patriarch. You're kind of coming like the leader. And even if you haven't been seen as that person in the past, it's not about achieving it or getting everyone to vote you in as that. It's about living it. It's about walking it. It's about shining your light. And you just keep living by example, okay? And don't worry. You have a grandfather who comes through here who would have served in the military. He's a bit tall. I feel like receding hairline here, and kind of a bigger nose. And he mentions that what you're supposed to do is walk that walk. You don't just talk the talk. You walk the walk, and you let everything fall into place. But never negate it by worrying. Just visualize what you want to have happen. Put your heart out there and release it to the universe. Yes, I think it looks good. Okay. All right, we are at time, guys. Hope to see you for class, Reaching the One, or it's called Finding the One. Okay, finding that right person for you. That's going to be, what's the date on that?
That's Tuesday the 29th, 9:30 p.m.
Tuesday the 29th at 9:30. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here next Wednesday for another Ask Ivy at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Spirit. Thanks for the donation. Subscribe. Have a good night. She is going bad.